Glory to Jesus Christ. Slava Iisus Christu. I wanted to speak to you again today because a lot has happened and, has been happening very, very quickly with this current epidemic of coronavirus. So I just spoke to you a few days ago and told you that we would be having liturgies on Sunday and suspending everything else, including bingo and Sunday school and other activities. However, it seems as though the governors of the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, have really made the decision for us, and wisely so, restricting gatherings of more than 50 people, and then President Trump suggested gatherings of no more than 10 people. So in concert with that, Bishop Kurt has directed that all liturgies in the entire Eparchy of Passaic, and of course including St. Thomas Church here, be suspended for a period of 2 weeks. So we will not have liturgy on Saturday night, Sunday morning, or the pre-sanctified liturgy, at least for 2 weeks. Okay, so please bear that in mind, but also know that, should there be any emergency, a funeral, for instance, or if there's anything scheduled like baptisms or weddings, if that's something that you're concerned about, please know that there's no restriction on celebrating the sacraments, but we have to be cautious in the number of people who are in attendance. So no more than 10 people in church. We have to spread out, if at all possible, to postpone baptisms or weddings. Maybe that's the thing to think about. Funeral oftentimes cannot be postponed, but family members only. And during this whole time, of course, the church office will still be open to receive messages. We'll still be monitoring messages. So in that sense, it's kind of business as usual. But there's one important thing I want all of us to remember. Even though we're suspending liturgy on Sunday for the next couple of weeks, it's still the Lord's Day. And now we're going to do everything we can to make Sunday still the Lord's Day for you at home. Please refrain from activities that you don't have to do. Pray, read the scriptures, and we're also going to try to videotape, to live stream, as we're doing now, the Divine Liturgy on Sunday. So you can actually tune in on Sundays at 9 o'clock and pray along with us and still keep the Lord's Day holy. Now, the pastors of all the churches still have an obligation to pray for their parishioners. So please know that you will be prayed for, you are being prayed for, and the liturgy is still being celebrated for your intentions. And you are invited to pray with us, even if you're not physically present here in the church. So I think those are the updates I have for you for right now. And I do want to mention also, on Sundays, if you're going to watch the Divine Liturgy, please do try to keep the rest of Sunday as a day belonging to the Lord. I know there are things that we have to get done, but there are a lot of folks out there who are not as media savvy perhaps as you watching this. Maybe they need a good old-fashioned telephone call. Maybe it's not practical to knock on their door and visit them, but if there's somebody who's homebound, elderly, or somebody just living a distance away and you haven't spoken to them in a while, why don't you use the time you have now, especially on Sunday, the Lord's Day, to reach out to them, check in on them, see how they're doing. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you're praying for them. Friends, this is all very inconvenient, all very confusing, and sometimes very scary. Remember, as we talked about the other day, the only thing we really have to fear is fear of the Lord, because He's walking with us. But let's try to make as many blessings come out of this as we possibly can, with the extra time that we have in reaching out to other people. So let's turn once again to the Mother of God, and this time let's sing the hymn that we've been singing to her protective custody. For those of you who recall, it's on page 454. For those of you who don't have a book, just sing along with me. Beneath your compassion we take refuge, O Virgin Theotokos. Despise not our prayers in our need, but deliver us from danger. For you alone are pure and blessed. Glory to Jesus Christ.